In 1922, archaeologists digging in modern-day Pakistan found a city with better plumbing than ancient Rome. It had been sitting underground for 4,000 years. Nobody conquered it. Nobody burned it. 5 million people simply vanished. How does an entire civilization disappear without leaving a single explanation? Here's why this matters. Every civilization that rises eventually falls, and they usually leave a reason. War. Famine. Invasion. The Indus Valley left none of those. And if a society more advanced than most of the ancient world could vanish without a trace, that's not just a history lesson. That's a warning. Here's something nobody talks about. The Indus Valley Civilization had standardized weights and measurements uniform across cities separated by hundreds of miles. No central government we can identify. No obvious king. No palace. Just perfect consistency. Somehow, millions of people agreed on the same system without anyone forcing them to. It starts around 3,300 BCE in the floodplains between the Indus and Saraswati rivers, what is now Pakistan and northwest India. Small farming communities begin clustering together. Within a few centuries, those clusters become something extraordinary. Cities. Real cities. Grid-planned, engineered, enormous. Nothing like this existed anywhere else on Earth at the time. Mohenjo-daro. The name means Mound of the Dead in Sindhi. At its peak, it housed 80,000 people. The streets were laid out in a perfect grid, main roads running north to south, side streets branching off at right angles. Drainage systems ran beneath every neighborhood. Waste was managed. Water was controlled. Who taught them this? The houses are what get you. Private homes had their own bathrooms. Wastewater drained through clay pipes into covered street sewers. Those sewers connected to larger channels that carried waste out of the city entirely. London didn't have a functioning sewer system until 1865. Mohenjo-daro had one in 2500 BCE. Let that sink in. And it wasn't just one city. There were over 1,000 settlements spread across 1.5 million square kilometers. Harappa. Dhalavira. Rakhigarhi. Each one planned. Each one with the same architectural logic, the same brick sizes, the same drainage philosophy. This wasn't coincidence. Something, or someone, was coordinating all of this. But who? Here's the reframe. Archaeologists have dug up thousands of artifacts from Indus Valley sites. Pottery. Jewelry. Carved seals. Figurines. Measuring tools. And in all of that, no weapons of war. No depictions of battle. No mass graves from conflict. No fortifications designed for military defense. This civilization apparently chose not to make war. For 700 years. Think about what that means. Every other major Bronze Age civilization was obsessed with war. Egypt glorified its pharaohs on battlefield murals. Mesopotamia kept military records. The Indus Valley built granaries and bathhouses. Their art shows animals, plants, and abstract symbols. Not conquest. Not kings. Something about their society was fundamentally different. The Great Bath at Mohenjo-daro is one of the earliest public water structures ever found. A watertight brick pool, 12 meters long, 7 meters wide, sealed with bitumen. Steps leading down from both ends. Surrounded by galleries and rooms. Archaeologists think it was ceremonial, possibly religious. But here's the thing, they're still guessing. Because the Indus script has never been decoded. Over 4,000 inscribed objects have been found, mostly small stone seals, each one carved with symbols and usually an animal. Scholars have catalogued over 400 distinct signs. Linguists have tried for a century. AI has been applied to it. And still, silence. We cannot read a single word. That's not just frustrating. It's disorienting. Every other major ancient civilization left us something: hymns, laws, lists of kings, tax records. The Indus Valley left images of unicorns and symbols nobody understands. We know they traded with Mesopotamia. We know they sailed. We just have no idea what they were saying to each other. The unicorn seal keeps coming up because it's the most common image found across all Indus sites. A one-horned animal, always in the same posture, always facing the same direction, always accompanied by what looks like an offering stand. It appears from Pakistan to India. Whatever it meant, it was important enough to repeat thousands of times. Around 1900 BCE, something starts going wrong. Not everywhere. Not suddenly. But slowly, the great cities begin emptying out. Mohenjo-daro's population thins. Trade drops off. The careful urban planning starts to break down: cheaper construction, overcrowding in some areas, abandonment in others. The system is failing. And nobody seems to be fixing it. By 1700 BCE, the major cities are essentially ghost towns. Population has shifted east, toward the Ganges plain. The large urban centers are gone. Within 200 years, a civilization that took 1,000 years to build has completely unraveled. And the leading theories? They contradict each other almost completely. Theory 1. Climate change. The Saraswati River, a massive waterway that fed dozens of Indus cities, began drying up around 2000 BCE. Monsoon patterns shifted. Agriculture became unreliable. Without food security, cities can't sustain themselves. People moved. Gradually, inevitably, the urban network collapsed. It's the most widely accepted theory. It's also incomplete. Theory 2. Disease. Isotope analysis of skeletons found at Harappa shows high rates of infectious disease in the late period. Overcrowding, shared water systems, close animal contact, all conditions for epidemic spread. Some researchers think a series of disease outbreaks hollowed out the population before climate change could finish the job. But again, incomplete. Theory 3, and this one was dominant for decades, is the Aryan invasion. The idea that Indo-European migrants swept in and destroyed Indus cities by force. It was partly inspired by skeletons found at Mohenjo-daro, some showing signs of trauma. Scholars called it a massacre. It shaped entire historical narratives. There's one problem. The skeletons weren't from a massacre. Later analysis showed the bodies had been deposited at different times, over years or decades. There was no single violent event. The trauma could be explained by accidents, disease, ordinary death. The invasion theory collapsed under scrutiny. Which means the decline of the Indus Valley still has no clean explanation. None. What makes this genuinely strange is what they left behind. The cities weren't burned. Valuables weren't looted. There's no evidence of a final violent event, no last stand, no destruction layer in the archaeology. They just left. Packed up. Moved on. As if the whole civilization simply decided to become something else and quietly walked away. Here is the impossible question. The Indus Valley Civilization had no obvious central authority, no pharaoh, no emperor, no royal palace identified anywhere. Yet 5 million people maintained uniform standards across 1,000 settlements for 700 years. How do you organize a civilization that large, that consistently, without any visible power structure? The most disturbing implication is this. We consider literacy, war, and centralized power to be natural features of advanced civilization. The Indus Valley had advanced civilization without any of those, or at least without the ones we can see. Which means our entire model of what makes a society advanced might be built around our own assumptions. Not theirs. The honest answer is we don't know what happened. Climate shift is the most supported theory. Disease compounds it. Migration explains the aftermath. But the full picture, why the cities were built the way they were, who governed them, what their writing says, and what they believed, remains completely out of reach. The Indus Valley is still winning. Somewhere beneath the soil of Pakistan and India, thousands of Indus Valley sites remain unexcavated. The answers might be there.